Hello, my name is Beth Dixon, and this is lesson 1, question number 18. There are 3,975 students at a particular college, and 68% of the students are taking math. How many are taking math? Round answers to the nearest whole number and again, I kind of run off my frame, as needed. And as we look at this problem, what we're going to do is we're going to, again, start with what the concept is. What are we trying to do? And then we'll use one of our tools. You use one or the other, not both, to solve this. So what are we talking about? Well, we have a total number of students. And that is 3,975, and it's made up of two groups, those that are taking math and those that are not taking math. Math and no math. And the ones taking math make up 68%. Now we could subtract that from 100, just like we would in the chance of rain. If there was a 60% chance of rain, there would be a 40% of not raining. So if there's a 68% chance of 68% are taking math, that would mean that there would be a 32% of not taking math. In this case, we're not going to use that number, and we really don't need to do that. So why did I do it? Because you'll need it eventually, not for this problem, but for another class. Okay, and so we're going to talk about proportion. And so for the proportion method, what will we do? We will start with our two fractions. And when we start with our two fractions, and that green does not show up, so I'm going to toss it where I won't pick it up again. And let's start again. And so we start with x over 100. And when we start with x over 100, we look for our percent, which is that 68%. The other number we have is the 3,975. And remember that 60% of the students, of all the students. So the of goes on the bottom. It is your total. It's always the part over the whole. And so of the whole of the students, so that means the 3,975 goes on the bottom. Now that number does not always go on the bottom. If it's the part, it goes on the top. So it's the part over the whole. So the whole or the original. So the original number is the 3,975. And then we're missing the percent or the number that is taking the math. So 68 is to 100 the way x is to 3,975. And then we're going to multiply, which would be 100 times x equals, and then I'm going to take my calculator to multiply the 68 times 3,975. And that gives me 2,70300. Or 270,300. Then I will divide by 100. And that gives me 2,703. And that gives me 2,703 of the students are taking math. So now let's look as we solve this using the equation. So we're going to go, what percent of the total equals the part? The total, remember, we said was 3,975. Of means multiply. The percent is the 68%, which we will write as 0.68. or 0.68 times 3,975. And I'm going to make sure that's all on screen. And that's going to equal the part or the number taking math, and that's out of screen. Sorry. I need to learn to write smaller. And when I multiply 0.68 times 39.75, I should get and do get 2703 as the number taking math. So either method gives me the right answer. And you ask, which method should I use? Well, if you understand the first method, you want to use the first method. If you understand the second method, you want to do the second method. What you need to remember is to start is, do you want to start with two fractions, or do you want to start with the statement that what percent of the total equals the part? And then you're filling it in and solving it out. And this concludes question number 18.